All right, I will make the family proud. I'm not asking him, okay? I said I'm not asking him, I love you. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Gina Rodriguez, and I am here with the incredible President Barack Obama. We are going to debunk many of the myths that have plagued us this election. Presidente, you're going to be unemployed like many millennials very soon. So what are you gonna do to rev up your resume? Are you gonna start a blog? I hear YouTube is the way to go.
Uber.
Uber!
I'm going to sleep for 2 weeks.
Good idea.
Honestly, we'll continue to work on providing opportunities for disadvantaged youth. We'll continue to work on making sure girls get the same education that boys get. So all the things that we've been doing, we're going to continue to do. We won't have Air Force One, that's all.
I think a lot of our youth were really encouraged by Senator Bernie Sanders. What do you say to the young kids that now want to check out because they don't feel represented?
I know Bernie Sanders and I know Hillary Clinton. They're both good people. But I tell you what, Hillary's our nominee, and I'd put her record next to Bernie's record, next to my record in terms of championing civil rights. She has tried to work with Republicans and actually get things passed, and sometimes I think young people feel like, well, I don't want somebody who compromises. But the truth of the matter is that's how stuff gets done. You never get 100% of what you want right away. You chip away at it, and that's what Hillary understands. We are taking for granted, for the first time in our history, we can elect a woman to the most powerful office in the land. And think about the message that all those little kids, all those little girls and boys growing up are suddenly going to say, hey, I guess there's nothing wrong with a woman who is in a position of authority and is getting stuff done. That means I can do anything, yes. Right?
That's how they felt when you were president.
Well, and they should feel that way this time as well.
If I don't live in a swing state, my vote doesn't count.
Your vote always counts. And let me tell you why. First of all, we never know what's going to be a swing state and what isn't. So you don't know ahead of time what states are going to go where. But what's also important is these down ballot races, you're not just voting for president. When you go into the voting booth, you're voting for senators, you're voting for a member of Congress, you're voting for the local prosecutor. Don't cop out by saying it doesn't matter. It matters. Now, you may decide you don't want to make the effort, but that's different. Then that's on you. Yeah. And you have to take responsibility for the fact that the country's not as good as it could have been if you had taken 15 minutes out and gone and voted.
Is the election rigged?
No. Unfortunately, here in America, there is a tradition of making it hard for people to vote. Historically, it was done purposely to prevent African Americans from voting. And that tradition sometimes has carried over. But here's the good news. Even though people try to discourage you from voting, if you want to vote and you show up at your polling place, they can't stop you from voting. They can't stop you from voting. If people want to know how to vote, then you can go to iwillvote.com. The fact of the matter is that we give our power away all the time. We tell ourselves, oh, it's hard, it's not going to matter, it's not going to count. And the powers that be, they're counting on us giving our power away.
Many of the millennials, dreamers, undocumented citizens, and I call them citizens because they contribute to this country, are fearful of voting. So if I vote, will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us?
Not true.
Okay.
And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself, and there is not a situation where the voting rolls somehow are transferred over and people start investigating, et cetera. The sanctity of the vote is strictly confidential in terms of who you voted for. If you have a family member who maybe is undocumented, then you have an even greater reason to vote.
This has been a huge fear presented, especially during this election.
And the reason that fear is promoted is because they don't want people voting. People are discouraged from voting, and part of what is important for Latino citizens is to make your voice heard, because you're not just speaking for yourself, you're speaking for family members, friends, classmates of yours in school,
your entire community,
who may not have a voice, who can't legally vote, but they're counting on you to make sure that you have the courage to make your voice heard.
This campaign has definitely been a bit different than ones in the past. We've seen a lot of discrimination, we've seen a lot of hatred, and a lot of segregation, which is terrifying. especially for millennials who are of every background and every culture. What are your thoughts on everything that has been said during this election?
Look, here's the thing. The majority of Americans are good people who treat everybody with respect. That's the majority. And there's a vocal minority that, you know, for all kinds of reasons, for fear, because politicians exploit those fears, maybe don't express our best impulses. But the number of good people, the values that you and I care about, that's the majority. It's just that it's not always the voting majority because people stay at home. And if you take the time to vote, the country will be better. It won't be perfect. There'll still be racism out there. There'll still be poverty. There'll still be challenges. But it'll be better. And, you know, better's good.
Another thing during, oh, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So embarrassed. I know, I'm so sorry.
You got a phone?
Yeah, it's my aunt. And, hi, Titi. Yes, no, come on, I told you that I was in an interview with, no, with, yeah, sí, con el Supremo, with the Presidente. No, I'm not gonna ask him that. I'm not gonna ask him, I'm so, she wants me to ask you if, my Titi Juaning, yeah, she wants to know if, I told you I would tell, if you make arroz con pollo in the White House. It's silly, I know.
It's really good.
He does.
But
send the text to everyone.
But it's probably not as good as hers. So if she wants to send her recipe,
Titi, are you hearing this?
We will be happy to try it out.
Oh, she's really excited. Okay, there you go. All right, I love you. Bye. Thank you.
All good?
You. Yes, you're incredible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Go on and vote, everybody. I mean, you heard it from
IWillVote.com.
IWillVote.com. Your voice does matter. Every vote matters. America is looking bright. As long as you go out there and vote November 8th, please do it for all of us.
Thank you, everybody.
Yay.
Mitú.